Today we're going to take you back into a cosmic time warp. Welcome back to the Dark Cosmic Universe. My name is Avian Savage. Welcoming back all my cosmic followers. Welcoming back my cosmic family. Again, welcoming everyone new to the channel as well. If you are new to the channel and you haven't subscribed, please do so. Because we talk about action figures, we talk about playsets, we talk about vehicles, we talk about Pokemon cards, we talk about all cool cosmic collectibles just like this. Again, if you are new to the channel, please check out the links in the description. I've got an eBay store where I sell vintage and retro t-shirts. I also sell paperback books. When I make a sale, what do? I bring it back here to the Dark Cosmic Universe, finding some really cool collectibles that I feel are worthy to be of video watching quality. Again, if you are new to the channel, please subscribe to the channel, activate that bell icon as well so you get notified when I upload videos, YouTube shorts, put posts. Don't forget, check out the playlists, which have tons of videos on there. So if you're looking for a certain genre, you might also find that genre and a little extra something, because when yours truly was beginning to learn how to do playlists, I accidentally put some other videos in that were not of that genre, but still fun to look at. Okay, with no further ado, got some new figures in the mail. Been waiting for this, and of course, been waiting for me to knock into that monitor over here. 2 figures in the collection. A few weeks ago, I wound up picking up the Fembot from the Bionic Woman series. Also was able to find from Zica Toys, Bigfoot. The legendary Andre the Giant, from what I remember and what I recall, played Bigfoot. So it's kind of cool, you know. I love wrestling figures. I love talking about all different types of action figures here in the Dark Cosmic Universe. So I thought that'd be kind of cool. And plus, again, I like Andre the Giant. He was cool. And then to know he was Bigfoot, even cooler, even cosmically epic. Back here, we've got the Bionic Woman herself. And over here, my representation, until I can find the Zica Toys version of the Bionic Man, he's going to be my Steve Austin figure. Because sometimes when you are collecting figures, the licenses run out. The toy companies are not as successful as they had hoped they would be with certain properties. And unfortunately, the line just dies out. Sometimes it is brought back years later to finish up those collections that you just wanted to complete because you're a completist. Or maybe you loved that movie or TV show or comic book or whatever, because there was a special connection with you and a certain character. And you're like, I gotta have that figure. All right, let's take a look at the card art before we get into this. So here we go. And we'll talk about a little bit more about my online experiences by not getting the Steve Austin figure. Here is the Bionic Woman from the Super 7 collection. Here is the Fembot. Now, of course, that is the Bionic Woman that's on here. I wanted to have this one because it'd be cool to have a Fembot. Now, in the back here, we've got the card art saying that we've got Jamie Summers right over here. That would be the Bionic Woman. And then we've got the Fembot, her arch nemesis. A little more information about a lot of that stuff. Really, really cool card art. I really wish, and maybe they had done it, they made translucent figures from Super 7, but I don't think that even happened. But that would have been a really cool idea. I would have loved it. All right, we'll take a look at the figures here. Now, again, most of the figures here are in the 1/18 scale, and I'll kind of go through what happened and what's been going on. But let's take a look. So the Fembot should be under 4 inches tall, if I'm correct. Yeah, so Super 7 is like that. Bigfoot should be over that amount. So about almost 4 3/4, so 4.75. Jamie Summers, under 4 inches. And then my fill-in figure for the time being for my Steve Austin is just under 4 inches. And we'll talk about that in a few minutes. Okay. Anyway, so the real quick story, yours truly started looking on Mercari because I don't know what happened with Etsy. Etsy was a really cool place for me to find some like figures that I didn't have in the collection. And I just, for giggles, I started looking to see if the Zica toy figures, and I'm like, they're going for astronomical amounts of money because maybe they were low production, or perhaps when they were out there, people just didn't buy them. And I was going to get the Bionic Man figure. I was going to get the Bigfoot figure. And again, the store that I had, or the store that had these figures, they sold them. And I'm like, oh man, missed them. And again, it wasn't until a few years later, I'm like, I started getting back into finding some of the older figures. I actually wound up finding this one. Now, this is a Super 7. Now, the odd thing is, not odd, is that the Super 7 had the license for the Bionic Woman, but they did not have the license, from what I know, to do the Super 7 Bionic Man figure, so the $6 million man. So I don't know why or what happened. Again, that's up with Super 7 and all their team of lawyers. But here's the Fembot, which looks really, really cool. And again, very 70s. We got the bell bottoms going on. What a cool looking figure. And I know that the Fembot has been spoofed off with Austin Powers. Yeah, baby, the Fembot. I mean, a little bit different. But again, what a cool looking figure. Definitely well representative, or well represents the toy line. Did not have the Bionic Woman. I had tons of the Bionic Man. I had a great Uncle Pete who would come on Christmas and he would purchase the Bionic figures for the brothers and I. Or again, that's what I think. Again, the Mandela effect has totally messed my mind up here. And I was like, oh my gosh, I watched the show, and I guess he must have watched the show, must have loved it. And again, to have this figure in my hand. Now, I think it was about 10 inches. So now this is my version of, this is going to be my fill-in figure for Steve Austin. And again, this was from Walmart, from the Adventure series. When I had seen this figure, now they did a lot of like motocross, they did a lot of outdoor adventures. He kind of looks like he's got that, he's got that Steve Austin look. I mean, there's only one Steve Austin, but that goes beyond it. And when I found this figure, I mean, he had the red, he had the black. I was like, oh my gosh, this could be like a modern version of the $6 million man. Now, when I showed this figure to Seaside Crafter, she was like, it looks nothing like Lee Majors. I'm like, use your imagination, okay? The money isn't there. This character will definitely fit in, and eventually I'd find that. So anyway, so I found that guy, and when I got this years ago, a couple years ago maybe, I'm like, well, my Steve Austin has to have an Oscar Madison. I'm sorry, wrong one. Oscar Goldman. Oscar Madison was another guy who had another roommate. So I kind of use this like as a fill-in figure, and I know he looks nothing like Oscar Goldman. But again, I was like, this guy was kind of cool. He's got these glasses on. I'd take him as a modern version. And again, as a Walmart figure. And I'm like, okay, it would be kind of cool. I'm like, but then again, I don't have the Bigfoot figure. And needless to say, I did find this a couple weeks ago. Oh my gosh, loose. And with an astronomical, amazing price that I wound up getting. Because this figure, the Zica toy figures, we'll take a look at this one. They're going for at least over $100. Carded, $125, $175. Again, really cool figures. So if you remember Bigfoot and being the adversary of the Bionic Man, oh yeah, this was pretty awesome. And again, way back when. So yours truly saw this, and I'm like, opportunity knocked, and I wound up buying it. And I'm like, yes. And again, it wasn't carded, and the guy, I don't think you should explain it, but just on the description, or where the person was, said that it was not carded. And I'm like, that's okay, because most of my figures that I get, I like loose so I can display them, you know, and you can definitely see them. And I was like, this is really cool. So once I wound up knowing I was getting, there I go, knocking into the monitor again. I was getting this figure. I'm like, oh my gosh, I am going to buy the Fembot, because I knew way back when, like a year ago or something, I wound up seeing the Jamie Summers figure. And again, I was like, this is really cool. Anyway, now Seaside Crafter was mentioning about how she had the Jamie Summers figure, and we're going to get back to Steve Austin in a minute. And she thought it was so cool because you could actually open part of her arm up, and you could put the chips in, and the chips would say what adventure she's on. And she's like, oh, that was so cool. Now, of course, she had the jumpsuit, she had her purses and all that stuff. It didn't, for me, it didn't resonate really. You know, it was the Bionic Woman. Maybe way back when, if I'd wanted to complete the series, I would have probably picked one up. But again, they're, I mean, complete, you know, they range. You can get, again, you can find a good price of them on eBay, but not necessarily. Well, anyway, get back to the Macari thing. So I wound up finding a Steve Austin figure that was a Zica Toys, and that would definitely go in this. Again, Zica Toys had the $6 Million Man. Super 7 had they had the Bionic Woman. So anyway, so I wound up buying the toy, and I'm like, oh, it's coming. And then I was going to have this huge surprise here and go, all right, I got this really cool figure coming. And then the seller had shipped the wrong item to me. I was like, oh, I was devastated. Opened up the box. It was the 6-inch figure. I'm like, this isn't one I ordered. Contacted the person. Person's like, oh, just send me back the box. Yeah, I sent the wrong order out. I was like, oh, anyway. So there went my hopes of finding a Steve Austin figure. Eventually, one of these days, I will. And then hopefully I will find a 3D printer, 3D printing artist is what I should have said, who actually made that. Now they didn't make, but they had plans to do other ones. But again, the series just kind of fell, and who knows, I think they're going to be doing another $6 Million Man release, but I think he's going to be like 6 inches. So I'm like, that's not the size I was looking for. So anyway, I will find the Zica Toys. Anyway, so some really cool figures. So back here, so like from the 80s, we got Bruce Lee. We got our friend over here who could double for Betty Banner, and we'll do that in another episode. Got the Crow. Have to have the Crow when you have Bruce Lee. There he is. Dun 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 dun. Flash. That's right, Flash Gordon. We got Dune over here. Got the Goblin King. And then again, my representation of that incredible show for the time being. I will find the Zica Toys Steve Austin figure to round out this collection. I will find a 3D printed figure, hopefully they ever make them, of someone who would do an Oscar Goldman. Not Oscar Madison, but if I got an Oscar Madison, I'd have to get a Felix Unger. I was just thinking about that. I always get those mixed up because of the name Oscar. Anyway, that's it. That's the end of the video. So we got some 70s, we got some 80s, we got some 90s, we have some 2000 TV shows and movies as 1/18 scale figures. They are out there. They may not have as much articulation, you know, but again, if that is your jam like me, having the 4-inch or, you know, the 1/18 scale figures, this is a pretty decent representation. Again, if you are looking, the Bionic Woman, Fembot, and then the Bionic Woman, Jamie Summers, you could probably get about 30-40 bucks ish. He's going for, again, over $100 carded and sometimes loose. Got him less than that, which I was so excited about. We got Brandon Lee over here. We've got, oh, I was gonna say Jim Lee, but that's not right. Bruce Lee. Oh my gosh. Jennifer Connelly, was it? I think, or if I said it wrong. Sam Jones, which is pretty cool. And we got David Bowie over there. I was like, awesome. And then over here with the Dune figure, which is cosmically epic. So yeah, yours truly, again, you can definitely tell I was influenced by the 80s and 90s and 2000 and even modern stuff, because that's kind of cool. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you again for checking out the channel. Thank you for suggesting the channel to all your friends out there. Saying hello to all my new subscribers out there. and to my future subscribers who are watching these videos. Thank you guys again. I so appreciate it, because if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be here doing what I'm doing and having fun. I'd still be having fun, but not many people would see it. But that's another story for another time. Anyway, thank you guys for checking out the channel. So appreciate it. Thank you for watching the YouTube shorts. Thank you for remixing, remastering, reinvigorating, reimagining what the Dark Cosmic Universe can be on your socials. Thank you for hanging out with the channel also over at TikTok too. So I appreciate everyone checks out the photos you guys are checking out. Got to think here on the playlist, and again, all the videos. Thank you guys so much. I so appreciate it. We're getting close to that 3,000 hour watched, viewed, watched, whatever hour watched, you know, potato. We're getting there, 3,000 views, and like I said, and then we'll make it to the next step, and we'll go from there. And again, thank you guys so much. Anyway, if you are subscribed to this channel, you are part of the Dark Cosmic Universe. You are part of the Dark Cosmic family. Who are my family members? Well, my friends. They are my cosmic cosmonauts, my cosmic comrades, my insane toy collectors, my dark cosmic Pokemon collectors, and my dark cosmic collectors as well. Thank you guys so much for hanging out here. What do I say? Say it loud and proud. From one side of the galaxy, I knew you guys are mouthing it right now. That's okay. To the other, and somewhere in between, there is the Dark Cosmic Universe. There used to be another universe, but we'll talk about that for another time. Anyway, thank you guys again for watching the videos. More stuff came today, so more videos, which is pretty cool. We're looking pretty solid here for at least 10 videos or something like that. And then, of course, September coming up, we're going to be rolling into hopefully some pre-orders, waiting to hear from those awesome artists that are doing that as well. Anyway, stay cosmically insane, my friends. Keep collecting all those action figures. Come back here to the YouTubosphere, better known as YouTube. Here's the channel, Avian Savage. And we will definitely see you cosmically soon with another toy review.